What it do, what it do, what it do. Everybody come on in here once you get your notifications. All right. I see Jeffriana Cecil is up in here already. Salute OG on a Sunday. Just like the preacher. You damn right. Just like the preacher. What's going on, man, dog? What's happening with you? All right, I ain't seen you in a minute, man. All right, cool, cool, cool. Yes, sir. All right. Well, we'll wait for a few more people. This is everybody know Knockout Boxing 86 TV. Hey.
Salute everybody. Salute Jafari. Salute MD 2020 Bandit. Big Texas, what's up, bro? It's gonna be a great morning, man. Glad y'all could join us.
Yes, sir. Once people get the notifications, it kind of slow. So 40% of y'all gonna get it. The rest of y'all ain't. so hopefully they remember to come in. So and of course they're not used to me coming on Sundays. So probably give it a couple of Sundays. Everybody start falling into a rhythm. So I'll wait and see a few more people come in. But until that happen, what's going on, Mike? Okay, till that happen, I want to chop it up about something about Terrence Crawford. Okay, we can chop that up real fast. Okay, now Terrence Crawford is kind of like did an interview with ESPN, and he was pretty much saying that he wanted to fight Sean Porter, but they wouldn't let him fight Sean Porter. All right, and what happened was he said that Sean Porter didn't want to fight, but he did. Yeah, but he's not really telling the truth, right? I want to call him a liar, but he is a liar, really, because Sean Porter always wanted that fight. He said he crossed across the street and went on and made the fight. No, the WBO made the fight, not you, because Bob Arum, he said that. He said, hey, look, he called the WBO. He said, look here, wait a minute, what y'all doing? Well, Bud ain't fought in so long. He got to fight a mandatory. Of course, Bob also said, hey, look, okay, I guess that's how it's going to have to be. Because, the WBO, when they order something, or any government body, when they order a fight, you got to fight that person, no matter what the promoters say. So that's what's going on. Is that now? It's not because Terrence Crawford did some shit. It's just that it's what happens. What happens. So what you think about it?
I think Terrence Crawford either has a bad memory, and like you said, I'm not gonna call him a liar, but I remember distinctly he was asked in an interview. I think he was at a fight, and he was sitting in the stands, and he was asked. He said he wanted Errol Spence fight, and this was when Errol Spence and Sean Porter were already slated to unify their IBF and their WBC titles. And then the reporter asked him, well, what if Sean Porter beats Errol Spence? Do you want to fight Sean Porter? And he said he won't fight Errol Spence. He has no interest in fighting Sean Porter. And that's what he's looking to do, is fight Errol Spence. So he's been turning off the idea of fighting Sean Porter the entire time. Like, I think sometimes people count on boxing fans or just fans in general having like a short-term memory. I don't have a short-term memory, so I remember that. And I also remember when Sean Porter was calling him out back in 2020 and for the past year, and he was telling them stand by and stand down, you know what I mean, like, because now you're trying me. So he hasn't shown any interest in fighting Sean Porter up until this point. But I'm not here to shit on the fight or shit on Terrence Crawford, because I'm glad that he's finally getting a great fight like this, so we can find out what's really going on with him, if our eyes are really telling us the truth about him being pound for pound. But I'm right on board with you. This fight would not be happening if not for the WBO, which I always criticize them when they need it, but I also got to give them credit in this regard and in this situation, because the WBO mandated this fight, which forced PBC and ESPN and Top Rank to work together. Because the only reason Bob Arum, like, people were talking about, well, see, Bob Arum isn't cheap. He paid Sean Porter, so Sean Porter was ducking. No, Bob Arum was forced to pay Sean Porter, because if he didn't, there were plenty of promotional outfits such as the Zone. We know PBC was gonna bid on it because their fighter is in on it. And then maybe even Triller, like some dark horse that we don't know about, people were gonna bid on this fight because the boxing world know how big this fight is. So Bob
Mhm.
Arum was forced. He was forced to have to try to get this deal done because he already has Tyson Fury in a cross promotional deal that's happening on October 9th. He already
Mhm.
has Teofimo Lopez, whose next fight is on Triller. So you think of the three biggest stars in Top Rank, shit, you think Teofimo Lopez, you think Tyson Fury, and you think Terrence
Mhm.
Crawford. What type of 2021 would he be having if all three of them he's having to share some sort of promotional money, whether it's a joint promotion or whether one fighter's fighting on a totally different platform? And then can you imagine what the bosses at ESPN will say, who actually pay Top Rank? It's their network. They really are the bosses, and they call the
Right.
shots. Can you imagine what they would say if he lost Terrence Crawford to another
Right.
network or another promotional
Right.
company?
Yep.
So Terrence Crawford can be quiet with that, bro. I'm not trying to hear that. Like
Right.
y'all were backed into a corner, for whatever reason. And that's the thing. Like, you don't have to try to make yourself look good. Like, oh, we made this happen. We did this, bro. We have the facts in front of us, regardless of how it happened. It's
Right.
happening. It's the same thing about the fight. Like, bro, I got the zone. I got ESPN Plus. I can afford a pay-per-view. I don't care where y'all fight, bro. You don't have
Right.
to try to take credit for that shit. I'm just glad y'all fighting. So,
Exactly.
yeah, in this
Mhm.
regard, just he probably need to chill out a little bit. Needs to just understand that, like, not everyone has a short term memory, and for me
Mhm.
or for you or for anyone else who wants to call him out, like, hold on, bro, that's not really what happened. Like, that's not shitting on you, and that's not hating. That's just speaking of facts. And the fact of the matter is, until this shit got mandated, until this purse bid got ordered, he showed no interest in fighting Sean Porter, bro, and that's just a fact.
Right, right, right. Exactly. He didn't want to fight. Well, he's Keith Thurman. Same one. It wasn't a across the street thing. It just was that it was a fight thing. And I try to
Hmm.
tell everybody, shit. Yeah, I fuck with Terrence Crawford, of like blue black motherfucker like that, but he still wasn't fighting on one. All we doing is cheering him on. And right now, Earl Spencer on hiatus, and we want to see him fight. That's all, you know.
Hmm.
And now, and no matter what you say, Robert Garcia, he came out and said that he's talking about this fight. He think Terrence Crawford is going to KO Sean Porter. Now, I don't know about that, but we can talk about that. But Sean Porter, I think, has a chance, and I don't think Terrence Crawford have enough moxie to knock him out. But we can talk about that because Robert Garcia, no matter what I think of on anybody else, he's a good trainer.
Yeah.
Former trainer of the year, and I mean, he just Mikey Garcia brother. I mean, ex fighter. So hey, I would give him the credit, that he deserved. But I don't think that Terrence Crawford, unless he knows something that I don't know, that he's pretty much going to knock out Sean Porter. So what you think? I don't think Terrence Crawford had the moxie to knock him out.
Yeah, so I think kind of like you, Robert Garcia, you can't deny the boxing knowledge, right? So when he says
Mhm.
something like that, um, my ears kind of perk up. Unless he's talking about a Mexican fighter and a black fighter, then he's always gonna pick the Mexican fighter. But talking about two black fighters, I think
Right.
I think he's giving his honest and true opinion. What I say about that is like when I'm looking at these fights and I'm breaking them down and doing fight predictions on my channel, one of the things I look at is like what has happened and what would have to happen for something else to happen. And what I mean by that is for Terrence Crawford to knock out Sean Porter, he'd have to do something that's never been done before. And then you
Mhm.
got to ask yourself, does Terrence Crawford, like, based on the competition he's been in there with, does Terrence Crawford really hit harder than and have better timing than Keith Thurman, who hit Sean Porter with a right hand from Zeus himself? Does he really have better timing and better punching power than a Danny Garcia? Like, those are the questions you have to ask yourself. And does he have the
Mhm.
power and the tenacity to do that to Sean Porter? Something that's never been done. So if you're betting, I'd say probably no. I don't think he can knock him out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think
Right.
he can, just because it's never been done, and Sean Porter's been in there tough more
Okay.
than more than a few times. Like, you really think about the champions and the top level fighters that he's fought. After this, if he wants to continue to contend, let's say for instance he loses to Terrence Crawford, the only people left for him to fight are the Virgil Ortizes and the Boots Ennises of the world, because he's fought Yordenis Ugas, who's a WBA champion. He's fought Earl the Truth Spence. He's fought everybody but Manny Pacquiao. When you think about it, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Kell Brook, like, he fought everybody. So this is it for him. And
Right.
I think with the way that I see the fight going, I think it's gonna be a dog fight. And I think, like I said in your call-in show yesterday, Terrence Crawford's power to me is when he can time you, hit you with some shit you don't see coming, be creative, and catch you on the end of his punches because his arms are very long, even for 147 pounds. You got like a 73, 74, like something crazy, like some damn near like light heavyweight type of
Mm-hmm.
arm reach. And so that's where his power is at the end of his punches. But if Sean Porter can stay in his chest and stay
Mm-hmm.
close to him, that's gonna negate some of that power. And then again, it's hard to have that same punching power if somebody's in your grill forcing you to back up and turn over and over and over again. So me, I wouldn't pick. If I'm picking, I'd say if Terrence Crawford is to win, I'd say it'd be by unanimous decision by outboxing Sean Porter, maybe even
Mm-hmm.
split decision. Like, I think we're looking at a seven rounds to 5, 8 rounds to 4 fight either way,
Right.
maybe
Mm-hmm.
even a possible draw. But I don't think we'll see a knockout in this fight. But I think we'll see some fireworks. It'll be an entertaining fight. But if Terrence Crawford does do it, let me say this though: if he does knock out Sean Porter,
Mm-hmm.
then that's a huge feather in this cap, and he gets all the credit in the world. But as
Yes,
of right
sir.
now, that's something I got to see it to believe it. You know what I mean? Like, and then
Well,
once I see it, I'll be like, damn, he did that. Let me go in here and give him full credit because I did not see that shit coming. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
okay, okay. All right. Yeah, now real fast. Hey, knockout. Can you do a roll call for everybody that's in here from the
Yes,
top to
sir.
the bottom?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Demetrius Bright saluting it. Per chat. Salute to you,
Hey,
bro.
that's
Yes, sir. Salute to you, man.
chat. And he said,
We
salute
appreciate you.
OG. Salute Knockout 86 TV. Great boxing duo. All right.
Yes, sir. And salute to Ricky E245, Crush the Legend, YGB22, Love Down Gather, Mike 202. We see you, Crush the Legend. What's up, man? Let's see. Kamara done came in. We got C99, Bo in the building. Salute to everybody. Y'all be sure to put on your seatbelt. And that just means hit the like button, bro. You hopping in the car with us, you riding with us. We driving y'all down this boxing talk road. So just put your seatbelt on by smashing the like button when y'all
That's
come
right.
here.
Talk
Make
that shit.
YouTube share the video, bro. We need YouTube to be doing the algorithm thing and sharing the video. But we appreciate all y'all coming through and kicking it with us. And NBA D Nice, we see you in the building too, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's going on? Underground Asylum in the building also. All right. Now, we're gonna change course just for a bit. Now, what's going on, Devin Bible? I ain't seen you in a while. All right, salute to you. All right. Now, we're gonna talk about Deontay Wilder. Okay. Now, Deontay Wilder. This is the big talk for the last 2 weeks, maybe more, about the PED use. Now, Deontay Wilder came out and said that Canelo Alvarez and Valdez and that whole group are nothing but cheaters. He said he'd rather lose than cheat. Now, now I got a third option with that, right? I don't want to lose, and I don't want to cheat. I don't want to fight if you cheating. That's how I look at it. Because I don't want to go in there knowing that you pop dirty, not once, but twice. We going over everybody that things that have been happening in the past week, this week, whatever. Since we had no fight last night. We did have one fight, but we'll get to that. But how you feel about the PEDs, period? Because I think there's no room for it in boxing. I think what's on the ban list, I think all these medical experts, everybody got into it and tapped into what's good, what's masking, covering up, stuff like that, and it's just a disgrace to boxing and any sport.
Yeah, any sport, but to me, specifically boxing, because we have people die in the ring every year, right? And that's assuming that both fighters can be clean. When you can kill somebody, like this ain't like football is a contact sport, you know what I'm saying? But boxing is a combat sport. There's a difference, bro. There's a difference between getting tackled and getting punched in the damn head and in the liver and in the ribs and shit like that. And so if you cheating If you
Mm-hmm.
doing shit like fentanyl, which is what Oscar Valdez was doing,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, anabolic steroids, whatever it is you doing, bro, you basically saying you don't give a damn about your opponent's life, bro. And by not giving a damn about their life, you don't care about their family, their wife, their kids if they have them. Maybe they're taking care of their mama or their daddy or something. Like you just showing a complete and utter disgrace and disrespect to the sport. And I'm not here for none of that shit. Anybody that's cheating, they should have that black cloud over their head all the time, and then they also should serve some type of punishment. I think that's where the outrage comes from with something like Oscar Valdez. Like, homie is getting
Right.
a goddamn statue, bro. He's
Mm-hmm.
getting a statue for cheat. Like, can you like? That's not what we taught growing up. Like, you don't get a reward for cheating. Like, you literally getting a statue. You get to be world champion. You get to fight on ESPN because you cheated. Like, nah, bro. He should be disgraced right now. He should be somewhere tucking his tail between his legs. And so I think that's where the outrage, where guys like Deontay Wilder, guys like Caleb Plant, even and Devin Haney, where guys are speaking out because they understand how dangerous the sport is. Like to a casual fan that doesn't really follow it, maybe they don't hear about the people that have died in the ring because they haven't been big name fighters here
Right.
recently. Maybe they don't hear about it, so they don't really know
Who
what's
Patrick
going
Day
on. So
is?
they're,
You know,
yeah,
like
so they're
that.
like,
Yeah.
oh man,
Uh,
he did this and he did that. I mean, it's
mm-hmm.
okay. Like, but
Mm-hmm.
that's where it's on us to like really talk about this shit and get it out there, because like that should be like attempted murder or assault or something, bro. Like, that's basically like a deadly weapon, because number one, you already well trained, you already an Olympian, you've been fighting your whole life, then you gonna juice yourself up too, bro. On
Right.
top of all of that, like, bro, that's an unfair advantage no matter how you slice it or no matter how you dice it. And phentermine is just taken to mask some shit, but also it does
Mm-hmm.
give, if you just taking that by itself, like, you get to have extra stamina and shit. You get to cut weight easier. You don't have to work as hard to get your weight down. So it's no room for it in the sport. I don't care who's doing it. I don't care if they white, they blue, they black, they green, they Mexican, whatever they are, bro. If you do that shit, I'm coming down on you, and I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
cover you in any positive way. Like, I have nothing positive to say about Oscar Valdez other than he robbed Consejo of a fair fight. Then the WBC helped him rob Consejo of a victory. I scored that fight 9-3, 10-2, and then now
Right.
his fans, like, no disrespect to anybody from Arizona, but like, where are you at in your head and your mentality where like they were cheering for this man, bro? They were rooting for him. They
Right.
were they were they were big up in him. They were like really behind him in that fight. I'm like, do
Mm-hmm.
y'all watch the news, bro? Do y'all see what this man do you understand the ramifications of what could happen to Consejo in this ring? Like, what if, God forbid, what if Valdez would have caught him with a mean left hook in that fight
Right.
and put him in the hospital or some shit?
Yeah.
Like, that could end. That's the type of shit that'll get the FBI involved in the sport and,
Yes.
and, and get the sport stopped. So overall, PEDs, I'm sure, like you, like, they don't belong in the sport, and you should be punished harshly when you
Right.
when you
See,
get caught with them.
that's the problem that everybody's getting. Everybody, they really kind of pissed off about it, really, right? Because see, a certain I don't like to talk about other people's channels, so I'm not gonna. But a certain creator, whatever, they think that, okay, well, Canelo paid his debt to society. No, he did not. A debt to society is 2 years, suspension, at least, not 6 months. And you training in that 6 months. Then you get all right before you get ready to fight, because you already trained, you already put in your time in your training camp. So you just picking up where you left off at. It's not really no discipline there. That's it. And that what really gets to me, because you like you said, you're getting a trophy, you're getting rewarded, you're getting a pat on the back for really juicing, or really whatever. I don't care if it's meat or whatever. If it's meat, don't touch the shit. That's what I'm saying. If you
Yeah,
know that this tea, it might have been a tea, then why you drinking the tea? But it was a lie anyway, because it
of
is what it
course, yeah.
is. So, but ain't nobody lie. Because I don't remember drinking the tea. Oh, maybe I did. Oh, you know what? I don't even remember drinking the tea at all, right? So I mean, that just pissing me off and everything. So, but we went through that, and I'm not gonna harp on that too long, unless you got some more on that. But
Yeah,
mm,
just
mm,
real quick, because I didn't really
mm,
talk about Canelo a lot. Bruce Gold, salute. Rob Sportsman Lee, salute. Brown
mm,
on boxing, man. all y'all. Rex Music, appreciate y'all
Yeah.
coming through and checking out. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Make sure
Mhm.
y'all hit that like button. But on the Canelo thing, I think that's what's frustrating. It's like
Mhm.
because no one's ignorant. Like everyone that's making content on here pretty much follows the sport of boxing very closely, and we all know it's sick. Like we gotta speak truth, right? And we all
Right.
know a 6 month suspension, like in today's boxing, like this isn't the days of Ray Robinson or Rocky Marciano where they were fighting 5, 6, 7 times a
Yeah.
year. This is 2021 where guys are fighting. We're lucky if we get to see a top fighter fight twice. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like we're lucky. So that means a 6 month suspension. You basically just that's nothing for
Mhm.
someone like Canelo Alvarez, who now this year he's fighting 3 times a year, but for the most part, Canelo will fight twice a year. And so that really does nothing. And so that's where the frustration comes in. And then
Mhm.
whether it's herbal tea, if it's meat, if you really are going to get a prescription that you don't
Right.
need, whatever it is, like as a athlete, a professional athlete, you still have to
Mhm.
be responsible for what's in your body, and you got to know everything that's going in there. And these guys can actually send shit to whoever's doing the testing, whether it's Vada, Water, USADA. You can send shit to them, be like, look, I'm thinking about eating this, or I'm thinking about taking this supplement.
There you
Will I
go.
pop dirty? Will I pop dirty if I take it? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like you can do your due diligence if
Mhm.
you really. And so the whole excuse of, oh, I didn't know it was in this, or I didn't know that I would pop there, like that, negligence, or I should say ignorance, is not an excuse. Just because you
Mhm.
didn't know something doesn't mean that you get off because you claiming you didn't know it. It's almost like we've all had a job. Like I used to rent cars for Enterprise Rent a Car, and I was a manager there. And if I rent a car and it needed an oil change
Mhm.
and the engine blow up on one of my customers, my boss come to me like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Man, oh, I didn't know it needed an oil change." He not gonna be like, "Oh, well, that's okay. It's not coming out your paycheck." Nah, bro, he gonna go in on me like, "Nah,
Right.
you might get fired. It might come out your paycheck because you supposed to know your car needed an oil change. That's your job to know." And what I'm saying
Mhm.
is, as a fighter, it's your job to know what's in the meat that you eat, or the supplements that you take, or the tea that you drink. And so that whole excuse, I don't buy it. I don't subscribe to it, and I hope that boxing fans don't either, because being ignorant of something is not an excuse to get off or to not be punished for. You still, and again, I believe it's all lies, but even if they're not lying,
Mhm.
you still don't get off for being ignorant. And no, a 6 month suspension in today's boxing, that means absolutely nothing, bro. That's just a way
Mhm.
to say that you punish somebody without punishing them. It's like
Mhm.
for me and my kids taking their cell phone for nighttime between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. Well, they go to sleep at 10 a.m. anyway. They don't give a damn. Like, okay, I don't
Right.
have my
Right.
cell phone
Right.
anyway.
Yep.
Like, that's not a
Mhm.
punishment. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Exactly.
kind of how I see it. But
Right. Right. I hear you. I hear you. Man, now David Benavides, the one I supposed to have an interview with him, then it changed up. Now I supposed to had another interview with him, then he got the coronavirus and everything, but he wants to knock out Jamal Charlo. Now,
mm-hmm.
of course, he wants to knock out Jamal Charlo because he wants to get to Canelo Alvarez. He even said a fight with Callum Plant, win or lose. Now, David Benavides, I think is flat-footed. I think he just come forward, throw punches, no mobility, no lateral movement, no athleticism. You know if I'm saying it right. But I mean, what you think that Charlo has the power? Because when they asked David Benavides this, he said that I think so. Now that ain't too confident to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying that, well, maybe if I hit him right, now you supposed to say, yeah, I can knock his ass out. Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem, but Jamal, now they might run their mouth, and I like them, and they might run their mouth and they might say this, they might say that, but they do stay in shape. They are big guys, and they are becoming a different. They twins, but they are separate. They are different, and I think Jamal is the more strong and bigger twin,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Jamel is the more technical twin. So I mean, they do differentiate from each other. So, I mean, is David Benavides right?
Um, David Benavidez, I like that he wants to smoke. Let me start there. Now, as
Right?
far as him being right about Jamal Charlo,
Mm-hmm.
being a tough fighter, thinking that Jamal Charlo has the power, I would say Jamal Charlo's a big dude, like you said, and maybe he's leaving something on the scale at 160 pounds. So you can always be stronger by not having to cut that extra 8 pounds. So he could come to 168 and punch harder. As for Jamal Charlo's part, he started saying he would knock David Benavidez out first. He doesn't have any other big fights, so I'm of the mindset like he's not gonna fight Triple G. Triple G got a fight already made. If he's not fighting Demetrius Andrade, then why not move up and fight David Benavidez? Because what the fans don't want to see, and I'm a huge fan of his. I'm right here from Texas. I live in Dallas, Texas. I like Jamal Charlo, but I got to keep it real. We don't want to see any more of the type of opponents that you had in your last fight, because you're in a lose-lose situation. If you beat them, it's because you were supposed to beat them. If they clip you or they catch you and you still beat them, you're going to get criticized, and people are going to consistently tear down your resume. So it's time for him to take on a fight like this. It's time for him to take on a fight like this if he's not going to be fighting another champion at 160, because the voluntary defenses and mandatory defenses, they're getting old. It's time to either unify. If you're not going to unify, it's time to get on up there to 168 and put yourself in a position to get the big fights up there. But as far as David Benavidez, his fighting style, I don't subscribe to the whole your offense is your defense, because eventually somebody gonna time your ass, somebody gonna counter your ass, and he has no defense, no head movement. He doesn't move his feet. It's only so many times that you're gonna get away with just throwing a bunch of volume punches with a bunch of hand speed and a bunch of power with no defense to come behind it. Like, you can't be a one-way fighter. There's no specialist in boxing at the highest level. Like, if you're gonna be a world champion, if you're gonna fight the top level, you got to be able to do everything. He has a huge hole in his defense that somebody like Jamal Charlo could possibly take advantage of with that jab. So I'd love to see the fight. I think it's a 50-50 fight and a very close fight. But I'd love to see the fight, and those are the types of fights that I want to see Jamal Charlo in. I want to see David Benavidez in those types of fights, because it's only great for the sport. And if you the sanctioning bodies, like, start mandating shit like this, you get a bigger sanction fee when you do the shit. So that's where I'm at with it. I want them to fight. They both going back and forth, doing a lot of talking. They're under the same PBC promotional banner. So make the shit happen. Make the shit happen for the fans. Shit, put it on the Canelo Alvarez Caleb Plant undercard. Hell, cancel that shit that Benavidez got with Kqkc, and let's get it popping, because Jamal Charlo need to fight. Shit, he can be ready by November. Yeah, he's always in shape anyway. Do something like that so we can have a hellified undercard, man.
Yeah, he lied. Felix Nuez and that What's going on? He said, is WBC more knowledgeable, or is the fighter? Okay. Well, I think the WBC is, first of all, responsible for a lot of shit going on right now. Okay. I think the WBC feels that they don't have to go by any damn rules. So I mean, it is what it is. Now. Knockout. Is there? It's a fight tonight. Cause I see Ricky E245.
Yeah, it's a fight tonight. Can you go right up above him and highlight my wife right quick? She came in the building. I want to shout out to Valerie. Y'all be nice to her. Y'all be nice to her. She right in the other room.
Valerie, what's going on, Valerie? What's on this Knockout 86 TV? Wow. All right.
Yes, okay, but yeah, it's a fight tonight. It's Malik Montgomery versus I did the prediction. I got it right here. Malik Montgomery versus Aleem Jumakanov on FS1, and then the co-main event is Omar Juarez versus Jairo Lopez.
Oh, okay.
So they're fighting tonight. Yeah, they're fighting tonight. I think it's like 9 p.m. on FS1. Real quick, because I know you got to get to the next super chat to answer.
No. Go ahead. Take your time.
Yeah, to answer Felix Nunez's question, I wouldn't call the WBC negligible. I think that's the wrong word. They're complicit and they're corrupt. They're in on it, and they don't get the benefit of being negligible because they get all the test results, bro. Like, they get everything given to them, so they actually have all the information. So they're not being negligible. They're proactively and aggressively being corrupt by not punishing fighters, by changing rules, and like, oh, we use VADA for testing as our clean boxing program, but then we're gonna go by the WADA rules because we really want this guy to stay champion and we want him to fight. So I think Felix, I think negligible is the wrong word, because when you negligent, that means like you don't know or some shit, or you just you forgot, or you didn't see the shit. They can't be negligible because they have all the information, bro. They're openly choosing not to pursue shit that they need to be pursuing. So I wouldn't say that, just my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, and a lot of people say, well, the WBC, I think they racist. I think they just for the Mexicans. Well, you know what? I don't think so. You know why? Because David Benavidez, he ain't part of that clique. Mikey Garcia, he's not part of that clique. And that clique is, Kwame Brown would say, the get along, go along clique. And that what it means by, okay, well, you got to take a little something to get more bigger, because I really believe that DPDs are coming right out of that camp somewhere, somehow. I don't know if they the middleman or the man. I don't know, but Fred Robinson and that wow. Chat. He said the WBC rules say if Charlo drops the belt at 160, he's supposedly the mandatory for the belt at 168. But Canelo going to get out of it. Of course. Well, of course. He been running from the Charlo since 154. There's no doubt
Fred,
about it.
He would have to petition for that, but he's supposed to be. But my guess is, if that happens, Canelo would probably say he's chasing greatness and go to 175 or something, and say he's chasing greatness and drop the belt. Or the WBC would probably franchise him again in 2 weight class. He'd be the first ever 2 division franchise champion.
Yeah. See, that's the shit that pisses me off. The franchise belt is supposed to be non-transferable. Okay, it's supposed to be like a trophy, right? Now, of course, Canelo says he's not going to use some franchise belt with this unification fight, which I knew that he was coming back. Remember the talks broke off. Now, I said this once before in one of my lives a while back that Canelo, he accomplished exactly what other fighters accomplish. And that is he got a belt. He's a champion in that division. Okay. A lot of guys did that all different weight classes. What separated him from being that face of boxing, that number one guy, and he know that his resume don't dictate that he's separate. He's that Hall of Famer. He this and that. He this, and this is going to lead me into he learned from Mayweather, right? And he that. But only thing missing is what Terrence Crawford got. A unification of all the titles. And that's why I knew, and Kellen Plant, I got a feeling he knew too, that Canelo wanted this so bad. He be back. He be back. That's what I bet he was saying. He be back, So that's what I think happened. Now, just let me say this. Knockout Mayweather. He said that Canelo said he learned from Mayweather. You learned what? What did you learn from Floyd Mayweather's side of ass whooping? Right? I mean, come on. His feet is still flat. I mean, he's not on his toes boxing. He's not throwing jabs, right? Now, I go back and I look in my mind and I think about it. I said, wait a minute. Canelo wasn't doing all this shit before, walking motherfucking down and this and that. And he used to get out of breath. I wonder what changed. Quiet minds want to know. So what you think?
Well, a couple of things. I think what he learned from Floyd Mayweather is what his weaknesses are. So maybe go in the gym and work on his weaknesses. Another thing about him walking guys down, like, I'm really interested in this Caleb Plant fight because I think it's hard to get a fighter tired when he's fighting lesser competition, right? And salute, Money. Appreciate you coming through, bro. So when you're fighting lesser competition, when you're fighting Rocky Fielding or you fighting Callum Smith and guys like that who, yes, Callum Smith was a champion and all that, but when you're fighting lesser fighters, you're not going to get as tired, right? It's easier to walk those guys down. He didn't really walk Daniel Jacobs down like that. He didn't walk Triple G down like that, and he still looked tired in those fights. So I think it more so has to do with the level of competition. Because when
Okay.
you fighting lesser guys, you ain't gonna get tired. Like how the hell Canelo gonna get tired fighting against Avni Yildirim? You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't gonna get tired. Shit, he gonna knock Avni Yildirim head off his shoulders type shit. And then Billy Joe Saunders, like, okay, like people try to count that, especially Canelo fans, is like some huge win that he fought this slick boxer. And I don't see Billy Joe Saunders as that. He doesn't. Only thing he can do on the move is jab. He backs up on his bicycle constantly. He ain't sitting in the pocket and countering you and rolling punches and coming back with counter punches and being able to turn guys with a check left hook and or check right hook because he's a southpaw. So I don't see Billy Joe Saunders as a slick boxer as some people do. And plus his resume was shaky. Just like Caleb Plant, I think Caleb Plant has more talent than Billy Joe Saunders. I think he's a better fighter, much more skilled than Billy Joe Saunders. And so we'll find out. Now, if Canelo doesn't get tired in this fight and makes it and continues to walk down and doesn't have those problems in the back end of the fight like he used to do, then I'll have questions like, okay, bro, why don't you ever get tired anymore? But right now, I'm putting it on the fact that he's just fighting lesser guys, dude. Like I think he would be tired at the end of a fight if he fought a Jamal Charlo or David Benavidez, and he was definitely tired when he was his most recent top level fighters. He didn't look the same in the back half of the fight against Daniel Jacobs, and he didn't look the same in the back half of both fights against Triple G. So, because they actually were able to make him work, they were able to do some things to make him not be able to just walk forward without any repercussions or without any care in the world about what was coming back at him. He didn't care what Callum Smith was throwing back. He didn't care what Billy Joe Saunders was throwing back or the other guys he's been fighting recently. So I think it has more to do with level of competition than anything else. But I think we'll find out against Caleb Plant because I think Caleb Plant's coming to fight. I think he has, other champions that Canelo has fought. I think Caleb Plant is the best skilled fighter. So hopefully we get a chance to see Canelo testing and see if those issues that he has getting tired have truly gone away. So we'll see.
Okay. Now, Randy Smith, I'm just want to read this quote he said. He said, KQ, he learned that the business of boxing from Mayweather. That is why some consider him the face of like Mayweather. Okay. That could be true too. He learned how to master the business side of boxing. That's why he commands a big purse. That's why he's on the pay-per-views, and he does do well as far as pay-per-view numbers or the zone numbers, and he got the whole Mexican American base behind him. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. But now let's try to stay on this real quick. Knockout, and you can chime in anytime you want to, Valerie. All right. Okay. Now, but listen, Callum Plant is being kind of trained, getting pointers from Andre Ward. Now we know SOG, the Son of God. Is he really the Son of God? If so, can he help out Callum Plant? Can he show Callum Plant how to fight Canelo Alvarez? Because we know he walk you down and go to the body. We know he goes to the stern, he go to the left, right kidneys, and he pretty much trying to break you down. So, and therefore, what he does is not pop shot, but Callum Plant needs to go in there and get in and get out. He don't need to stay in that pocket too long. Because Canelo Alvarez, he's a hard puncher. You can't deny that. Now, Callum Plant, he's not really a big guy, and his chin is so. But I think that's a dangerous move if he go in there and stay in the pocket too long. But how can he keep Canelo Alvarez off of him? Just by what Andre Ward is teaching him. Now, we know Andre Ward fought Kovalev. Kovalev knocked him down. But he got up and won the fight. But Canelo Alvarez, he fought also. Yeah, again, he do the same thing. Callum Plant did to Canelo Alvarez, like Canelo Alvarez did to Kovalev. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, what's Canelo Alvarez's weakness? Can Callum Plant tap into that?
Possibly. First of all, having Andre Ward help you. I mean, anytime you surround yourself with greatness, that makes you better. That's in any walk of life. Like you want to
Mm-hmm.
put yourself around successful people so you can be successful. So I'm sure he can offer something to help Caleb Plant. As far as um Caleb Plant and Canelo and how you can beat Canelo and what Caleb Plant should look to do. I believe personally you can't beat Canelo Alvarez running the whole fight. So that's the tricky thing for Caleb Plant. Like he can't be on his bike all night or he gonna get tired. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
going backwards is much harder than going forward. So he's gonna have to find moments in the fight where he can sit down, sit on some shots to gain Canelo's respect. He doesn't have to hurt Canelo because I don't believe he can knock out Canelo. Canelo has a granite chin.
Yes.
And he's taking some shots from some bigger punches than
Yep.
Caleb Plant. But what he has to do is punch hard enough and
Mm-hmm.
be willing to exchange enough to get Canelo's respect, to where Canelo is worried about what's coming back at him. So he's gonna have to walk a fine line of boxing on the move with his jab and then sitting down and catching Canelo. He's gonna have to, I think, catching Canelo with some really well timed counter shots,
Mm-hmm.
stuff that he don't see coming in the middle of Canelo's punches.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be his way to the top, his way to really get
Mm-hmm.
in there and try to see if he can steal a victory from Canelo. But he's gonna have to outbox him. That's the thing. He's not gonna knock him out, so he has to be preparing himself to outpoint him, win rounds clearly. And the way for him to do that is when they at a distance, he got a jab smoke. Cause he got some shit like a 5-inch arm reach advantage. He gotta
Mm-hmm.
use that shit. He gotta use that shit. He cannot let Canelo close the distance. So throw his jab, throw the right hand behind the jab when he think it's time. Well, don't forget
Mm-hmm.
about. I would be working that jab to the body if I was him too. Like that'll stop Canelo in his tracks. Canelo has outstanding head movement, so I think jabbing him to the body is the way to go to slow him down and keep him from coming at you, and then constantly turn him and just try to catch him with good counter shots and see if you can keep him up off of you. But running around the whole time, because Andre Ward, he didn't run the whole time against Kovalev. He found his
Mm-hmm.
moments to engage. He found his moments to be able to throw really, shots with his feet planted to get Kovalev's respect where Kovalev just couldn't walk forward. So
Mm-hmm.
I think kind of the same thing now. I think Canelo is astronomically more skilled than Kovalev, but I do think that Caleb Plant can take some things from that and I can jab, I gotta move around, but I can't just move the whole fight. I'm gonna have moments where I have to sit down, maybe try to roll a punch and throw a counter shot back at him. Maybe try to
Mm-hmm.
pull back from a punch and throw a pull counter back at him to catch him in between his punches, gain his
Right.
respect, and then he won't be coming forward as much because Canelo's weakness is always going to be his feet. It's always going to be he doesn't
Yeah.
move very fast. And so with him not moving fast, you can move around the ring on him. You just can't do what Billy Joe tried to do and just run the whole goddamn time. You got to sit down
Right.
and engage with him sometimes. Go look at, if I'm Caleb Plant, I'm studying what Floyd did. Floyd sat in the pocket a lot on Canelo. I'm studying what Eris Landy Laura did. Eris Landy Laura, when he stopped and planted his feet, he fired
Mm-hmm.
off combinations on Canelo and then
Right.
got back to moving. So he got to do
Yeah.
shit like that if he want a chance to win, in my opinion.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna do this super chat, but if you got any questions, cause this is our show. So just if you want to talk about something else or go
Yeah.
through something, all right, okay. Cause remember, we're doing this together, so I don't want
Yes,
to
sir.
act like I'm interviewing you and shit.
No. I got you. I
All
got
right,
you.
all right, Valentino, what's going on, baby? In that suit, hey, chat. He said, salute and grind till you reach the top. That's right. We're going to do that, brother. We're going to do that. All
Yes,
right.
sir,
Okay.
Valentine.
All right. Now, go ahead. Naga, you got anything? In
Oh, I
value?
like that one right there. David Morrell.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I don't know if have you watched him yet?
David Morrell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, man, David Morrell
Uh-huh.
is a problem, y'all. Like he
Yep.
said, David Morrell is gonna be able to beat the shit out of Caleb. Is a hype job without the belt. He'll be irrelevant. I used to be a Canelo fan. That man just takes easy fights. I tell you, nobody wants to see David Morrell right now. Like he's skilled, y'all.
Yeah. Oh,
David
yeah.
Morrell,
Man,
David Morrell
yes.
can fight. I know it say he only got like 3 or 4 fights or something, but man,
Uh,
he's a well-schooled boxer, a masterclass boxer with outstanding power that can fight on the inside. If y'all haven't seen that man fight, y'all need to go watch him fight. And my
mm,
thing with Canelo that I want to touch on, like we gotta understand that people people move in certain ways, and what Canelo critics and people like myself, who I don't hate him or anything. What
Right.
I don't like is he could have been undisputed at 160 pounds. You know what I'm saying? He was one belt away. And so to me, that when people say cherry pick, I won't say cherry pick, but he does move very, very strategically. And that's what I don't like. Like, I'd much rather him be going for 2-time undisputed champion. You know, if he really wants to submit his greatness and really show what his legacy is, then I think he should have fought, Jamal Charlo down at 160 or Demetrius Andre down at 160. And
Damn right.
people will use the excuse that, well, he got stripped because he didn't want to fight as mandatory. But if he had informed, I believe it was the IBF that stripped him, if he had informed them that, hey, I want to fight Demetrius Andrade for undisputed, then they wouldn't have stripped him, bro. He just didn't do it for whatever reason. So to me, that's kind of the knock that I have on him, is like picking and choosing when to, like, you're on your third weight class and you're just going for undisputed. And that's where
Right.
like Terrence Crawford does get some props from me, because he was at 135. He got a champion there, and then he went to 140. Boom, he went for undisputed. Like, I feel like Canelo, who was champion at 154, who came up to 160. Okay, go ahead and go for undisputed right there, bro. Why do you have to move up to 175, then move back down to 168, and then now you're going for undisputed? It just looks like you were trying to find a weight class that maybe was a little bit easier than the other ones.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what that's my knock on him. Like, the biggest knock for me, even over the computer raw stuff right now, is that just how he moves, and seems like he's strategically doing stuff and masking it as somebody that's truly going for greatness. When if you were truly going for greatness, you'd be a middleweight, because that's, keep it a buck. The middleweight division is much more glamorous and much more well known than 168 pounds. So being undisputed in that weight division would have gave you much more clout against those level of fighters. Like, if he had Andrade on his resume or Charlo on his resume, assuming that he had beat them, then people would look at him in a totally different light right now, and he probably have even more fans than what he has right now.
Wow. Now, Dillo Catch, he has a question, right? He said, fellas, what you think Plant and Canelo pay-per-view numbers will be?
Ah, shit, Daryl, at least 500, 600,000. It could possibly do 1 million. It's gonna do big numbers. It's gonna do big numbers because it has a lot of things working for it. Number one, the history, right? So no one's ever been undisputed at 168 pounds. So you have that going for you. The history of the Mexican never being an undisputed Mexican champion. You have that going for you. You have going for, there are people that want to see, like, and this is where again you can draw the similarities to Floyd Mayweather. There's a lot of people that want to see Canelo Alvarez lose, right? So those people will buy the pay-per-view and they'll tune in just to hope that he lose, because they feel like he's finally fighting somebody that has a shot against him, right? Then you have a bunch of people that want to see Canelo Alvarez win. So those people will buy the fight. And then it's going to do well at the live gate, because Canelo Alvarez's fights always do well at the live gate. So it has all of that going for it. And then they're putting it on Showtime pay-per-view, which I think is a good move. They're not doing it on Fox anymore. They're doing it on Showtime pay-per-view, which when people think of pay-per-view fights, they think of stuff like Showtime, HBO. They don't really think of Fox and ESPN so much, because that's what we grew up on, like the HBO pay-per-view fights and the Showtime pay-per-view fights. So I think it has all of that going for it. It's going to do good numbers, though. It's going to do real, real good numbers because of those situations. Anytime you got an undisputed fight, and then I think Al Heyman in the PBC, I think they'll be smart enough to know you got to get this shit a fire undercard. So I think that's going to depend on it too. And I'm starting to see, like, writing on the walls, like they're moving it to Showtime. Jaron Ennis was supposed to fight in October, but his shit hasn't got announced yet. So maybe they're thinking about throwing him on the undercard. And I can see some shit moving around to where it's going to be not only Plant and Canelo, but a fire-ass undercard fight coming up as well. So hopefully we get, it does well. I think it will, though. I think it will.
No, what I said too. I see Kenny Slam in the chat. He don't think you're gonna do over 400,000, but I think you got a lot of people, like you said, that's against Canelo. They want to see that. See, if you tap into what Floyd Mayweather did, all right, they weren't there to cheer his ass on. They was there to see him lose, and they want to be there and witness that. but he tapped into something. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep them pissed off at me, and they're gonna keep on coming. They're gonna keep on coming, and that what made him a pay-per-view star, actually. But now you got Callum Plant. Well, we cheering for you, the underdog. We cheering for you against Canelo because he juicing and everything else. True or not. Okay, love them or loathe them, right? But then you got the face of boxing. You got the Hispanic community, all right, and with that, alone, that's who cheering him on, and that's his fan base. And plus, you got other people. So I think, like Knockout said, yeah, 500,000, yeah, but I think they would do close to 1 million pay-per-view buys. I really believe that because it is a good fight, and you have to take the factor of both sides, how the fans feel on both sides. So they want to see this. They want to see every minute of this fight, and plus the undercard. You got to have a great undercard, just like the on Wild and Fury undercard.
Ooh, that undercard fire.
Man, woo, man!
You gonna have to have you a bunch of water, some energy drinks. You're gonna have everything on deck calling that fight, boy. That fight gonna have you sweating for real. That whole card, man. It's gonna be, first of all, you got Helenius versus Kawanaki. You're gonna be calling like 3,000 punches.
Right.
However long that fight, man. You got F.A. Ajagba and Frank Sanchez. Somebody probably get knocked out in that fight. Yep. You got Jared Big Baby Anderson on the card. My goodness. Man. And then they just added Julian J. Rock Williams to the card too.
Oh man, that's pure boxing there, So
and then if you wanted to do the undercard, like the card that starts, how they have the card right before the pay-per-view.
Right.
Edgar Berlanga is headlining that card. On regular ESPN Plus.
Oh man, that gonna be fire, man. Oh man,
you might have to get your construction boots on or something for that one, because that's gonna be a lot of work for you, man.
Yes, man, that's gonna be a fire pay-per-view, and you know what? And that would be worth it. It would be worth it if you pay for. I don't know what the price would be on that, but it's gonna be worth it. I think. I think it's gonna be worth it. And then you got Ottawa Island that he's gonna be fighting, and that's what I wanted to tap on into real fast. Right now, Ottawa Island was be fighting Dylan White. Now, of course, I got Ottawa Island because he's a heavy puncher, and he know how to find his openings. And for a big guy like that, a heavyweight, he punches hard, and he busts up Fury. Dylan White is not no elite heavyweight. So and he's like unsteady. He's like I say wobble like an egg, but he's not on steady legs. And he's always off balance. So I think Ottawa can tap into that with a couple of feints and pretty much get him out of there fast soon. I'm talking about faster than Povetkin. Povetkin was 40 years old. So but I think that's a good fight, but then again, it's a bad fight for Dylan White. So
I think Dylan White, he flicked it. Knock needed. Knock needed would be a good term to use. And he's chinny as hell, bro. He done been knocked out. And when I say chinny, it ain't like he got counted out or the ref stopped the fight. He got knocked out, put to sleep by AJ and by Povetkin. So Otto Wilder is much more coordinated, which is a bad sign for Dillian White. And he's tough. He can take a good shot. So I think Dillian White probably has a good shot to lose that fight as well. One thing I wanted to talk about, if we could. I want to really make sure we talk about.
You have to say if we could. This is your show too.
I want so Jerron Boots Ennis, because that's what we have as the show. Him and Stephen Fulton.
Right.
What I want people to understand, just kind of how people are covered differently, and about how Stephen Fulton said that they're the next great generation of boxers. Jerron Boots Ennis is. I don't think people understand how good he's been so far in his career. So, a lot of people, to give y'all an example, a lot of people talk about Edgar Berlanga and his knockout streak and kind of what he's done and how he's knocked everybody out like 15 fights in a row it was before his last fight or something like that. Like Jerron Boots Ennis is on a 22 fight knockout streak. He's knocked out his last 22 fighters. He says Dillion's feet too small for his body. Some sexy. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Dillion White looks like he gonna fall down walking to the ring.
I know. I don't know why he's
knock-kneed and pigeon-toed at the same time or some shit, man. I don't know. It just ain't good. It ain't good for boxing. Then his legs be stiff. He don't never bend his knees or none of that. He just look awkward, bro. He look like he gonna fall down while he throwing punches.
Right. You know, so.
He look like he gonna fall down while he throwing punches. But I believe what Stephen Fulton said, to get back to Jerron Boots Ennis. Him and Ennis, man, they something coming out of Philly for years to come. Like Ennis done knocked out 22 people in a row. He come from a fighting family. He's a switch hitter that can do everything, and I like his discipline. He seemed like he always in shape and he always working, and those are all signs to show that he can definitely be something in the sport, because nobody at 24 years old, if you're going to be disciplined at 23, 24 years old, odds are you'll still be disciplined at 26, 27, 28 years old. Kind of people don't change much. Like you can mature some, you can get wiser, but at 24 years old, if you're a hard worker, you're probably going to be a hard worker when you're 27 and 28 years old. So really like that that Stephen Fulton said that, because guys like Danny Garcia out of Philly, Julian J. Rock Williams out of Philly, and those guys like, and Tevin Farmer too, like they've had a good run, but I think these guys can go on and accomplish a lot more than they did, because I just think they're more talented than the guys that I mentioned, and those guys have flaws. Like Danny Garcia, all he wants to do is counterpunch, fight one way. He's not very versatile. Both Fulton and Ennis are very, very versatile fighters, so they have that working for him. Julian J. Rocks Williams, great boxer, great talent offensively, and he can fight. He can't take a punch, bro.
Right.
He can't take a punch. So that's his flaw. And then Tevin Farmer, 30 wins and 5 losses, but of his 30 wins, he just got 5 knockouts. So at the highest level, guys just take his shots and walk through them and outwork them. So these guys are definitely next. I don't think the guys I mentioned are done, but I think Jerron Ennis needs even more attention than he's getting, because guys just don't walk through here knocking out 22 people in a row.
Wow.
And if you know what you're looking at, the way that he switches, the way that he can switch in the middle of combinations, just the talent level coming from a fighting family, he has all-time great talent and potential Hall of Famer written all over him. When you look at how Floyd Mayweather, coming from a fighting family, Pops being his trainer, teaching him everything, like Ennis has some old school things about him going for him. So I really like him. And I like Fulton's versatility, man. Like he's beat guys like Angelo Leo that beat Aaron Almeida, who's a great fighter. He beat Adam Lopez, who, if y'all don't know, Adam Lopez can fight really, really well.
Right.
Fulton has come up tough. He's come up tough, and I'm so glad that they've already rescheduled his fight with Brandon Figueroa. So I'm really holding weight to what he said about them being the next up and coming guys in Philly, because they two are the best young fighters in boxing. You know what I mean? That's my opinion on them. I'm really excited to see them fight coming soon here at the end of this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Stephen Fulton and Jerron Ennis. Now, Jerron Ennis, of course, he quoted in saying that whatever Terrence Crawford could do, I could do better. And I take that kind of serious, with a grain of salt, kind of, because he's young, about almost 10 years younger than Crawford. And yes, I can see him doing things better than Crawford. Crawford, he's getting older, and when we get older, we slow down a little bit. It doesn't matter what we still can do. He still can probably do it, but he probably do it at a slower pace. But Boots Ennis, he's hungry, he's fresh. Steve Fulton, cool man Steph, he's hungry. These are the new generation of fighters. That's why they say they are the new generation coming from Philly. And these guys they don't care about no belts right now. They care about fighting the best that the division have to offer. They care about putting somebody in front of them that is the best, that they want to challenge themselves. See, I keep telling everybody that an L don't mean that your life is in combat sports is over with. That L means that, okay, I lost, but I learned. Hopefully you learn, and then you go back and a champion in my book is a person that might take a loss, come back, but come back better. That's what makes a champion to me. A champion means a person that can get off the canvas, come back, and do what he have to do. And that's what makes a champion. And go on and pretty much dominate and everything. Because you're gonna learn from your mistakes. That's why I always say you got 10 fights or more. It's time for you to step up competition. I get it. Your trainers and everybody, they want you to get used to fighting without a shirt, fighting around the crowd, people calling, booing at you and calling your names. You got to tune that out. Then by the 10th fight, 11th fight, then you should be ready to step up in competition, because I'd rather lose now, right there at that time, than lose when I get up there in an eliminator or a title shot.
Yeah, you don't want to be coddled. You don't want to be coddled coming up. You need to
Right.
fight the tough competition. And that's why I love, like, I'm hoping that these sanctioning bodies like follow suit, like what WBO did with Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford. I love that. And then I don't know if you heard, but the WBA has mandated and ordered Yordenis Ugas to face Montes Stanionis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they ordered him because Manny Pacquiao, he's already put in his bid for president, so he's running for president. So he's out of the fold. Looks like he's gonna retire.
Right.
And it's time for these young guys to get a shot. So I want to see these, like that's my thing with the sanctioning bodies, right? Like that's your job. And if you really think about it, if you mandate fights like this, you get more money. Like you get bigger sanctioning fees when you mandate and you order bigger fights. So ordering stuff like Jerron Ennis, like order him to fight somebody. It looks like the IBF, I've heard that they're probably about to order Earl Spence and Virgil Ortiz. They're gonna make Virgil Ortiz his mandatory. Right. So it's time for these young guys to step up and really get a shot, because these champions like Terrence Crawford, 34 years old, Sean Porter around the same age, Earl Spence is in his 30s, Yordenis Ugas is 35, 36 years old. It's time to see if these old lines can hold off the young lines, or if these young lines ready to take over. So, like, I love what Fulton is doing. Like, him and Brandon Figueroa already unifying the WBO and the WBC titles, and then I want to see him try to unify the entire super bantamweight division, whoever wins that fight. So, that's what boxing needs. And if these sanctioning bodies would get on board and start doing what the WBO did and what the WBA is trying to do, like the lightweight division, all of the confusion, you can point to one sanctioning body, bro, and that's the WBC. They need to be mandating bigger fights, and they too busy creating a belt for Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant, who don't need a goddamn belt. They already fighting for undisputed, bro. Why are you creating a new belt for them, bro? Like, get out of here with that shit. They need to be busy trying to mandate these big fights so we can see who truly is the best. Like, mandate Teofimo Lopez. I don't care if you mandate him to fight Lomachenko, mandate him to fight Devin Haney, or mandate Ryan Garcia or Jojo Diaz to fight Devin Haney, because they're fighting for another super interim tournament championship belt, bro. Like, they're about to fight. Like, this shit is crazy. And so I'm glad, like, young guns like Fulton and Ennis and Ortiz and Stanionis are all coming to the forefront and like getting these shots at these belts, because they hungry and they deserve that shit. Like, I don't want to see people be prospects up until they 25, 26, 27 years old. Like, shit, how old was Sugar Ray and Tommy Hearns when they fought? Wasn't they like, I was young back then, I don't remember, but they were like 23, 24 years old.
Right. They was 24.
Yeah, they were real young. Like, it's time for these dudes to fight. Like, you don't need to be a prospect till you 28 years old, bro.
Right.
Like, I'm tired of that. It's time out for that shit, because then that's how you get a truly great Hall of Fame career. Some people gonna go for championships early at 23 and 24 and they gonna fail. Some people gonna go for that shit and they gonna get that shit and they never gonna look back. So we don't get to know that unless we see the fights, bro. And so I'm glad that Fulton is saying that, and it's time for Ennis to get his shot. It's time for Ortiz to get his shot. It's time for somebody like Stanionis to get his shot. Conor Ben, look, man, you talking. You seem like you want it. It's time for him to get his shot. You know what I mean? So it's time for this. So I'm glad that these dudes are starting to talk. We need to cover them more, and talk about other guys than just these 30-something-year-old boxers, because it's time to see what the new crop has to bring. And I appreciate that Curtis Anderson, the boxing legend historian, knows
Mhm.
everything. I learned a lot from him. But yeah, see, I knew they were young. I wasn't.
Uh,
I was like 4 or 5 years old back then, so I don't I don't remember. But yeah, I knew they were young, and they need to start doing that shit again, man.
right. Now, Cornelius, Weatherford Ford, he right. You know, that's what they're doing. They milking it, right? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. You know, you got Javante Davis, you got Devin Haney, you got Lopez up there, Lomachenko. All they ain't fought. No, they ain't. The only ones that fought was Lomachenko and
Mm-hmm.
Lopez. And Lopez don't want to get Lomachenko no rematch because he knows that Lomachenko. I mean, that's a high risk for him. That's
Very
a
high
very
risk.
high risk. You know,
Mm-hmm.
then what I hear that he had a choice, Lopez, allegedly, before he chose Camboza. You know, he had a choice to fight someone else. But he
Mm.
chose Camboza, of course, because he said, okay, he thinking that this is the easier fight. I'd be able to keep my belt. I think I can beat this guy. You know, I mean, he played a few games and stuff, the stall and everything else, and you know what? That's what I mean. You know, stop milking it. Stop holding on to the belt. Go ahead and fight. I have more respect for a fighter that goes in there. Now, if he lose, he lose. But I got that respect for him because he went in there and he fought some damn body and so I sitting there holding the belt, put it on the bed, and look at it all day damn long. You know, and Manny Pacquiao thought he was gonna do the same shit and sit there and flip through the remote control and watch TV and sit on his ass for 2 years. But then they stripped
Mm-hmm.
him. And all of a sudden he want to say, "Oh,
I'm
my belt."
fighting.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my belt. You know, and you know, so I mean, it is what it is. But right now, the best respect of the governing bodies I would have would be the IBF right now. Now they're really not doing nothing very spectacular, but you will fight your mandatories. You will not rehydrate past 10 pounds. You know, those things like that, they still enforce, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to give them that, you know. So,
Yeah. So Teofimo Lopez, man, like I just I really rooted for him to beat Lomachenko, right? I like him.
uh,
I think he's a good fighter inside the ring. He got a lot of
mhm,
talent, but just the way that he's behaving right now after
mhm,
capturing the belt, I'm not really
mhm.
rocking with it because he went from wanting all the smoke, he wanted to fight the best, and now he don't want to fight nobody. He don't want to fight Lomachenko, right? He
Okay,
he he don't want to fight. He don't want to fight Devin Haney. Okay, he's
right.
saying he want to move up and fight Josh Taylor, but he's saying he gonna move up. He's saying he about to fight in October, but then he want to move up and he gonna fight in November, bro. Like he just be
Mhm.
out here lying and capping. Like you're not fighting a month after fighting, bro. Like
No,
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 you're
no.
not a prospect
No.
anymore, bro. You're not. No
Right.
one's doing that. And you think, and like that's the thing. He said something about like if Devin Haney don't fight him in November, or if Devin Haney makes another fight in November, then Devin Haney is ducking him. Bro, you're fighting in October. So let me
Right.
get this straight. You expect me as a boxing fan to believe that you are about to fight in October, and then come November, your promoter Bob Arum is gonna be like, "Yeah, I know you just got done off Triller. You just finished
Mhm.
Triller, and so for your first
Right.
fight back over here with ESPN, I'm gonna risk you losing the belts and having my belts go to another promotional outfit in your very first fight back. Oh, and we gonna make that fight for you a month after the fight that you just fought, bro. Like if you don't get out of here with this
Right.
bullshit, like bro, no one's stupid, and that's what I don't like about Teofimo. Like when he was
Mhm.
calling for the smoke, when he was out here chasing down Lomachenko, I love that
Right.
shit, bro. Go get him. If you think you're ready, a lot of people don't think you're ready. I even picked you to lose that fight, but I wanted you to win. Shit,
Mhm.
go ahead and do that, bro. Go ahead and get
Right.
out there and go chase greatness. I'm cool with that. But then the moment you get it, you turn into a prima donna. Nobody's good enough. What have they proven? And that's
Yep.
another thing. Like while I'm on it, all y'all
Mhm.
fighters out there, bro,
Mhm.
asking what another fighter has proven or
That's
talking
right.
about how they got their belt, that shit is lame and it's a form of ducking, bro. Like,
Yep.
understand this as a fighter, you come up, you want to be champion and you want to make as much money as possible. That's all you should care about, bro. How much is my purse and do I get to be champion? When you start talking about, oh man, he got his belt, he the email champion, or he ain't fought nobody. When you start talking
Right.
about shit like that, bro, you're ducking, fam. You ducking. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing else that you talking about when you start talking like that. And that's what I don't like about Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia. And got like Ryan Garcia literally running around here talking shit about Devin Haney when you about to fight for your second interim belt in a row, bro. And it could be your third interim belt in a row because you were supposed to fight Javier Fortuna for an interim belt. So you fought Luke Campbell for some interim shit. Then you fought what's the dude's name? You were supposed to fight Javier Fortuna. You pulled out of that, and now it's looking like you about to fight Jojo Diaz again for another interim. So you fighting for like the mandatory championship. He like out here fighting in the semifinals to go back to the semifinals. The homie don't even want to go to the finals type shit. Like, miss me with this shit, bro. These dudes is out here tripping. And so that's why I'm saying as fans, okay, we got all these liars, bro. We got all these people running around here saying shit that don't make no sense. So let's just get the WBC to mandate this shit, bro. Let's get them to like mandate some shit, like put pressure on them, because I don't even care what the fighters say no more, because they all be lying and they tough to follow down there at the lightweight division. So let's get the sanctioning body to actually do their job, because all the goddamn confusion is coming from these WBC shit. You got the interim WBC, you got the regular WBC, and then you got the franchise belt. Where's the pressure on them like what we got on the WBA, on top of what the WBC did with all of the fucking the Valdez shit, bro? They just looking bad out here right now. Like, we need to really be pushing them to mandate some of these fights so we can get the fights that we want to see, bro. Like that they frustrate me. These young lightweights are frustrating the hell out of me right now, bro. They just are.
Yeah, because it goes back to that. They go back to not being undefeated. That's what they're going by. That undefeated stuff. They don't want to lose that. They don't want to take that chance. They don't want to step out on their faith. They don't want to step out on and believe in their competition. They don't have no confidence. So, they don't have no confidence in their skills. And I mean, they need to be tested. And yes, if you lose, that don't make you a loser. That don't make you a bum. All right. That makes you a fighter, because you can come back stronger and stronger again. I mean, damn. I mean, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to figure out. Look at Devin Haney now. Now he's not a powerful puncher. We know that. We get that. We understand that. Right. But one thing about it is they don't want to fight this man for the simple reason is that they might get exposed, or he might just outbox them or make them look amateur-like. And that's why a lot of guys are trying to stay with him. Jojo Diaz, he know damn well he can make more money with Devin Haney / the Zone than he can with Golden Boy and Rah Burger King Instagram motherfucker. Right?
Yeah, I mean, they just want a winnable fight. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, if you sit there and talk to and ask the people what they want, they never ask us what we want to see. I mean, a poll or whatever. But we know we want to see Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence. We know that, right? We want to see Anthony Joshua. We want to see Deontay Wilder. We want to see that. We've been wanting to see that, right? We don't get that shit, right? But give us something. All right, give us something. Now we got Terrence Crawford. He finally coming out off the bench, and now he's going to fight. Right now, we really want to see this fight, because we want to see how he does. We want to see, because I never seen him fight on the inside, but things like that, it frustrates you. It frustrates you, because we always find ourselves in these conversations. Well, what if such and such fight such and such? All this fantasy talk and shit. I mean,
Leo Santa Cruz went and he wanted to get knocked out by Gervonta Davis instead of fighting Gary Russell Jr. Instead of trying to like shit like that, man. Like it's like, if I'm gonna lose I want to lose it to where I look like I'm competitive. I don't want to just get outboxed. Like, they just don't have confidence. Like, I'm sorry, but if you tell me somebody's pillow fisted, you tell me somebody's an email champion, you tell me they ain't fought nobody, you give me all of that shit, then sign me up, bro. And I get to become world champion if I beat them, and I make more money than I ever made, bro. Like, sign me up.
Right.
Sign me up. But they don't really want smoke like that. Like Jojo Diaz, that's the thing. He told Bill Haney to his face, I want to fight Devin Haney next. And then now he doing something different. That's my thing, bro. Don't just flat out lie. And then you got Ryan Garcia out here. He yelling Tank Davis' name, yelling his name, saying he want to fight him. I'm gonna knock him out. But you already got this other shit in the works. Like, this shit didn't just happen yesterday, bro. You've been knowing that y'all was about to get a fight done with JoJo Diaz. So why the hell you keep calling out Tank Davis' name, bro?
Right.
Why you keep calling out Tank Davis' name? And then let me say this, because I'm fair all the way around the board while we on these 135 and 140 pounders. I absolutely, positively despise the Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero fight. I hope that fight don't get made. I want to see Tank Davis in there with somebody that's gonna challenge him. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
At the same time, while I'm talking about them, like I need Floyd and I need Leonard Ellaby. Don't do this to us, bro. Don't do this to us and put this shit on pay-per-view. Do not do this shit to us and
Oh
put this shit
man.
on pay-per-view, bro. I'm not
Right.
trying to watch. Like I have no interest in fights, and I'm gonna watch it because I'm a boxing fan and I like Tank Davis, but I have no interest in fights where I know the outcome. That I think that's the point that we both trying to make. Like I want to see fights where it's like shit, this person can win and that person can win. Like yes, Terrence Crawford is probably favored to beat Sean Porter, but you can see paths to where they both can win that fight. Those are the types of fights that we want to see. Like Lomachenko will probably give Teofimo Lopez a great second fight, and Lomachenko could win that fight, but Teofimo Lopez could very well win that fight again. Same with all these other fights that we're mentioning. And so that's my issue. Like I want to see fights where it's like, damn, bro, this shit could really, really be could really go either way. Like, yeah, like Cornelius is saying, Tank and Devin, shit, sign me up.
Right.
Sign me up for that fight. Neither one of them got a fight announced right now. Devin Haney can fight wherever he want to fight because he got that little free agent deal, kind of like Canelo, where he worked with Matchroom, but he can go fight on other networks. Shit like that can happen, bro. Shit like that can happen, and it's gonna allow us to see greatness. That's how you get great rivalries, bro. You get a great rematch or a great trilogy when the top fighters fight each other. Maybe it's extremely competitive, or maybe somebody's not as good as we think they are. We don't know until we actually get to see them in the ring. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Like I'm tired of these dudes clout chasing, man. I really am.
Yeah. Then we got 65 in here. Make sure you hit the like button, everybody. All right. And at the end of the show, Knockout gonna give you his cash app or whatever, and tell him where if you haven't subscribed to Knockout 86, Knockout Boxing TV 86, make sure you do, because we will be on his platform next week. All right. Now we got Fred Robinson and that chat. He said, OG, Bob Aaron will not risk either of those belts leaving Top Rank. Till losing to Haney or Bud, losing to PBC when in Top Rank. Yeah, well, I don't know if it will end, but I mean, yeah, I know Bob. Bob don't want to take a risk of losing belts. We know that, right? That's why he didn't want it to go to a purse bid, right? He tried his best, and he came in the last hour and came up with a deal, because that would be embarrassing. You know, your number one pound for pound guy, let Triller, they trifling and shit. But you got Eddie Hearn, he was going to bid on that, and then you might lose it to PBC, and he couldn't have that, So finally, he went on and rescued Terrence Crawford. Now this is the part I want to ask you, Naga. Even though both our show, but I don't want to act like I'm interviewing you, but why is Terrence Crawford? I can't never figure this out. I thought he was under 8.4 or 2 per fight contract with Top Rank. Now, why is he getting only 6 plus the base purse?
I guess because he's fighting a better fighter. Maybe they have some. They don't tell us what the back end money is in terms of, since it's going on pay-per-view. Maybe he got some real good options on the pay-per-view with Top Rank, or maybe they just, how Bob Arum is. Maybe he just giving him $6 million. Like, hey, bud, I'm giving you $2 more million, and then Bob Arum's gonna keep all the pay-per-view money.
Well, they say it could be up to $15 million he can make.
Yeah, so that's good. I'm thinking they probably, he was only guaranteed $4 million a fight. He was only guaranteed $4 million to fight. So getting $6 million guaranteed plus 10 to 15 million, I mean, he can't really scoff at that. And real quick on Fred Robinson, I would say, I mean, sometimes you can give him no choice, right? Like Brian Castano became the mandatory. You got that WBO belt over there with the PBC. You got Fulton, who has a WBO belt. So Arum, yeah, he doesn't want to lose belts to the PBC, but you can put them in a situation where they have to make the fight like they did by mandating this fight. And then another thing, the WBO, I think something with the purse bid saying that whatever you're paying them has to be 60-40. Like they mandated that Bud Crawford got 60% and Sean Porter got 40%. Maybe that could have something to do with where Bob Arum was like, look, I'm only putting up $10 million for this fight. And so maybe that's why Terrence Crawford is getting 6 million and Sean Porter is getting 4 million. So it could be something like that, to where since the WBO mandated it, he has to pay Terrence Crawford differently and go by their rules. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I like to report on what these fighters make. I like to talk about it because that's the business of boxing and we have to.
Right.
But I'm just happy the fight got made. I don't give a damn if they pay him $1. Shit, if they happy with $1, let's get it popping.
Right.
let's get it popping and get the fight done. So it kind of it is what it is with that. But I just think Bob Arum, he was backed in the corner. Like I said earlier, like I don't think he want to pay Terrence Crawford 6 million. I don't think he want to give him pay-per-view options. I don't think he wanted to pay Sean Porter 4 million. He just got to the point where like ESPN looking down at him like, look, bro, we got you signed up over here. You losing fights for us. We already got to share money with Fox on this damn Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder shit. You already lost us Teofimo Lopez in this next fight. You better go make this shit happen. You better go make this shit happen. We ain't finna lose Terrence Crawford. So I think this is one of them situations where they like, shit, we gotta do what we gotta do to get this fight made.
You ain't lying, because ESPN been having a lot of issues, not only in boxing and basketball, with the the Maria and debacle, with the racism hot mic thing with Rachel Nichols and all that, and reportedly losing 180 million last year. I mean, hell, it is what it is. All right. Eric Jenkins in that chat. My man say salute to us. All right. I appreciate it. All right. Okay. Now, I want to go through. I know our time is went over, but that's okay. I just want to go through one more thing. Okay. And that was the fight that we're going to have Saturday. Okay. And Sunday, we're going to, of course, this is the morning after show. And we're going to be talking about it Sunday morning. And that's Anthony Joshua and Orlando Usyk. Okay. We're going to talk about that card. Okay. Now, I think with Usyk, I think with Black Star Sports TV, salute to you, my brother. All right. We just were talking to you up the other day. I hope you're doing fine. All right. Now, Orlando Usyk, it's a smaller heavyweight. Actually, I think he should have stayed down in cruiserweight till he was, a little bit body wise as far as heavyweight. But first of all, briggerweight, nobody want to be in that shit. Everybody want to go straight to heavyweight. I don't know. I'm serious, because I interviewed Michael Rice, Jonathan Rice, and he's like Michael Hunter. They approached him. Michael Hunter said, "No, I want to go to heavyweight. I want to mess with the briggerweight." So anyway, Anthony Johnson, he's slow-footed. You know how he come out there, bump, right? But he does have power if he connects. Now, of course, he don't have the feet that Usyk has. Now, would that play a part? Now, I think it will. But like you said before, on another instant early in the show, that you're going to have to stop and fight. You cannot pretty much use lateral movement for 12 rounds. It's just not going to happen. So if he gets in there and go not into a firefight, but get in there and trade with him, maybe, I don't care if it's just 4 seconds, he might get hit with something, because Anthony Joshua is strong. So he might get hit with something. So how can he avoid that? Because you're gonna run out of air, or you're gonna get tired. Your legs ain't gonna go for no 12 round moving like that. And should he stop and get on the rope, high guard, and let him tee off on him? Then once he started stop his combination, get out of there. What you think?
Man, so I think for Alexander Usyk, I just worry about the weight gain. You know what I mean? Like he put on a lot of muscle and he looks much slower at heavyweight.
Oh, okay.
He looks much slower at heavyweight, and that's why I think he didn't look as good against Derek Chisora and Chaz Witherspoon and guys like
Mhm.
that. Like Chaz Witherspoon, yeah, he knocked him out, but
Mhm.
he's not as fluid, he's not as slow. I think he'd have been better served like if he was gonna move up to heavyweight, maybe just see what he weighs without cutting weight instead of trying to bulk up and then just try to fight at heavyweight, maybe at like 210 or something like that.
Mhm.
Then he could really use his boxing skills to move around the ring, be more lateral. I don't think he looked as good at Derek Chisora. And so when
Mhm.
I'm looking at it and I saw Derek Chisora land some
Mhm.
shots on him. And for what we
Mhm.
say about Anthony Joshua maybe not being as mobile, maybe not being very quick. He is more athletic than Derek Chisora. His hands are faster than Derek Chisora. So if Derek
Yeah.
Chisora can hit Alexander Usyk and maybe entrap him sometimes, why can't Anthony Joshua do it? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's just looking at it from that perspective. For Alexander Usyk, he gonna have to sit down and fight sometimes. I don't think even though Anthony Joshua is chinny, I don't know if he gonna be able to keep Anthony Joshua up off of him. He's just gonna be too big and too strong, in my opinion.
Right.
Is how I see it probably playing out. I'm interested to see it happen. I think it's a great fight for both fighters, and salute to Alexander Usyk for chasing greatness. But I think this might end up being one of those fights where we look back and we say, shit, there's weight classes for a reason.
Yeah.
Certain body types, certain heights, certain reaches, like is certain things that your body can get up to and certain things that it can't get up to. If this was something where he made the jump and we're like 4 or 5 years into the jump and his body is acclimated to the weight, okay, maybe he's
Mhm.
moving better, but he just has not looked good at heavyweight, and he fought Derek Chisora,
Mhm.
at the end of 2020. So from then to now, I don't see him all of a sudden being so acclimated to the weight or being so much better at heavyweight. I think carrying extra weight, he's just gonna be slower. He's not as crisp, and I think that could
Mhm.
come back to haunt him, and he could end up having like I know Anthony Joshua has stamina issues, but Alexander Usyk didn't look extremely fresh against Derek Chisora at the end of that fight. He
Mhm.
didn't, and that ended up being
Right.
scored as it ended up being scored as a very close fight. So I mean, if Chisora can be competitive with you, Anthony Joshua can't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's
Right.
just I think I think it's
Mhm.
one of those fights where it looks good on paper where you're like, oh shit, he a former undisputed cruiserweight champion. Oh, he about to give Anthony Joshua some problems. But when
Right.
you really look at it though, when you look at the fighters, it's kind of one of those things where if Anthony Joshua is who everyone says he is, he should win this fight.
Mhm.
He should
Okay.
he should he should win this fight. That's how I see it. Usyk hasn't looked great to me. I have to see him look better at heavyweight before I would give him a shot in this fight. And unfortunately for him, shit, this is his next fight, so I don't get to see him look better. So I got to go with what I've seen so far. And I don't know. I don't see a way for him winning the fight. Now I'll break it down more and do a prediction video on it, as we get closer to the fight. But right now, first thought, I'm leaning towards Anthony Joshua just based off of what I've seen so far from Usyk at heavyweight.
Okay. Okay. I got Anthony Joshua winning, and I don't know if he'll knock him out or not, but I do have him winning. So, but any closing remarks that you might have?
Yeah, thank you, Bobo. We appreciate that compliment.
Yes,
I want
sir.
to say if y'all could, we doing the show on my channel next week. So my channel is Knockout Boxing 86 TV. If you type that in, you'll find me right here on YouTube. So go subscribe to the channel. Stay in tune with the community page so you can know when we're going live. We're gonna be doing this every Sunday. We've changed the time up though. We're gonna go a little bit earlier. We'll be going at 9 a.m. starting next Sunday. So 9 a.m. to about 10:30 Central Time every Sunday morning. You can catch us right here. We'll be talking about I can't wait to do it next week because we got a good card next week. We'll be talking about what happened with the card as well as like we did today, a lot of hot topics and what's going on in today's boxing. So follow me, subscribe to me. Obviously stay subscribed to Kqkc because we'll be alternating and give us your feedback, man. Like my email is
Right.
knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com. Give us your feedback if there's certain things that you want us to cover, if there's anything that you think will make the show better. We're open to it, man, because we want to make this as a great experience for you guys and make sure that it's something that you guys can look forward to every single Sunday morning because this is gonna be fun, man. I think it's gonna be a great combination in the collaboration because I couldn't have more respect for the man that I'm doing the show with. So I appreciate y'all. I really appreciate y'all. Again, Knockout Boxing 86 TV. That's where you can find me right here on YouTube. Y'all go subscribe to the channel. Check out the content. I drop content daily, and I also do my own live show every Wednesday night at 7:30. So y'all come through and check me out, man. And we're gonna keep this thing rocking and keep it going. Oh, and go Cowboys later on today. That's right, Dallas Cowboys. we gonna win the Super Bowl. Damn it.
Okay. I should have worn my Bears shirt, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I appreciate everybody popping out in here. All right. Yes, sir. My man Knockout Boxing 86 TV. We're gonna be doing this every Sunday. You know, you get the chance to hear our thoughts after the fights, after I call and said we're gonna talk about them on Sunday. And he's a good dude, straight out of Dallas, Texas, you know, and I'm glad to have him on board with Kqkc, you know, and we're going to have a lot of things. This is our first show. So, you know, more and more as we go, the more and more comfortable that we will get, you know. So, and I want you all to be comfortable. And like I say, you know, in this video, you know, share this video on all social media platforms. If you have any comments, please put them down below. All right. And with that, I appreciate it. Okay, Manny said he's from Lubbock, Texas. All right, Texas all up in here.
Salute to you, Manny. Salute to you, man.
Right.
Yep, Dallas, Texas, man. That's where I'm from.
All right, okay.
Still living here, Manny. Still living here, Manny.
All right. So make sure you subscribe to Knockout Boxing 86 TV. That way you're gonna get notified next week. Okay, and we're gonna be on his platform next week, and we alternate back and forth. All right. So with that, I appreciate it, and please take your love all the way over to the north side of Chicago. Stormy B Man will be having his call-in show. Matter of fact, I believe it's in progress now. All right. So I thank you all for coming to the morning after show with Knockout Boxing TV and Kqkc. Thank you, Big Texas, for that comment.
Appreciate you, Big Texas.
Yeah, it was a great show, Knockout, and I appreciate you. All right.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Talk to y'all next time.
Okay, with that, we out of here. Have a good day, and please keep your head on a swivel, baby. All right, and I greet you with the ancient word of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you. Yes, Sheena, I appreciate it. Yes, sir. It was a great show. Knockout know his shit. He know his shit, and man, you can't do nothing but just fall in line with his ass, right? That's right. All right, he's man, and like I say, it's no reason why his channel shouldn't be growing. It should be bigger than what it is right now, because that knowledge he has, you know. And I noticed it right off the get-go. So with that, you all gonna get a chance to get a good treat from this dude, all right? Because he's a great dude. So all right. So with that, peace and love to everybody, and that's it. That's all I got. Knockout. All right.
Peace, y'all.
All right. Peace. We out.